Hey friend, are you asking yourself, is this what I really want to be doing with my life? I don't think so. I think there's something else that I'm meant to be doing. Welcome to the Painting Your Path podcast, where we have real conversations about what it takes to step out, be bold, and do you. I'm your host, Castillo-Ramsey. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to the Painting Your Path podcast. I'm your host, Castillo-Ramsey, and today I want to do something a little different. If you're listening in real time, we are almost halfway through the year, which honestly feels a little hard to believe. And I've been reflecting lately on something I think a lot of us quietly experience around this time of the year. The gap between what you imagined January would look like and what life actually became. Maybe at the beginning of the year you said, "This is the year I finally start that thing. This is the year I take myself seriously. This is the year I stop hiding. This is the year I write the book, launch the podcast, prioritize my health, make the art, speak up, trust myself." And now here we are, almost mid-year, and maybe some things happened. Maybe life happened. Maybe grief happened. Maybe exhaustion happened, or fear, or disappointment. And maybe you're quietly wondering, am I still allowed to want this? Or do I still want this? Fill in the blank. And I've been sitting with that question lately myself. Not from a place of giving up, but from a place of paying attention. And one thing I've learned over the years is that forcing outcomes rarely creates the kind of life I actually want to live. And trust me, I understand the temptation to force things, especially when you care deeply about your work, especially when you've invested time, energy, money, heart, and creativity into something. It's so easy to measure your worth by the response, by the numbers, by who signs up for the things you're doing, by who claps, who likes, by whether the thing, quote unquote, worked. But lately, I've been asking myself a different question. And that question is, what actually feels alive right now? Not what looks impressive, not what I think I, quote unquote, should be doing, not what worked 5 years ago, not what social media says should work, but what actually feels meaningful. And for me, the answer has been surprisingly clear. The things that are most aligned right now are the deeply human things. In-person gatherings, community, art, resiliency, conversations that help people feel less alone. And I've been spending more time investing in my Altadena community since the Eaton fire, showing up for creative and wellness events, building community through art, and even more recently, I did something new that honestly meant a lot to me. I hosted a resiliency training session for people living with spasmodic dysphonia and other vocal conditions. And if you're new here, spasmodic dysphonia is a neurological voice disorder that I've personally been navigating for the last few years. And there was something incredibly meaningful about being in a space with people who just get it. People who understand what it feels like when communication becomes difficult, when expressing yourself feels exhausting, when your identity shifts, when your voice changes and you can't hide it. There's no hiding this. We had people join who were looking for support, tools, connection, and hope. And honestly, it reminded me of something super important. Sometimes purpose doesn't arrive in the form we expected. Sometimes it's not the giant launch or big applause or a perfectly executed plan. Sometimes purpose feels quieter than that. Sometimes it looks like a small Zoom room where someone says, "Thank you. I really needed this." Sometimes the thing that grows isn't the thing you originally planned. It's the thing rooted in your lived experience. And I think the part of becoming, the real art of becoming, is learning how to listen without abandoning yourself. That's the nuance. I'm not saying quit the dream. I'm not saying if something is hard, walk away. What I'm saying is pay attention to where there's resonance. Pay attention to what feels nourishing instead of performative. Pay attention to what brings you back to yourself instead of pulling you further away. For me, this season has been less about forcing outcomes and more about surrendering to the present moment. Less attachment to creating a predictable future, less living inside stories from the past, but more listening, or presence, or trust, or action from that aligned space. And honestly, it's uncomfortable sometimes because quote-unquote certainty feels safer. But life keeps teaching me that clarity often comes through movement, through experimentation, through showing up, through trying things, through community, through staying connected to purpose, even when the path changes shape a little. So maybe this is your permission slip too. Maybe you don't throw away the whole dream. Maybe you just need to reassess what's actually working. What gives you energy? What feels aligned? What feels heavy or performative? What feels real? And if that thing you wanted to start in January hasn't happened yet, maybe the question isn't, am I failing? Maybe the question is, what is this season trying to teach me? So that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for listening. And if this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with someone else who may be in this season of reassessing, rebuilding, or reconnecting with themselves. And until next time, keep painting your path.
Thank you so much for staying till the very end. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with a friend. If you haven't had a chance yet, please write a review and rate the show. I would love to hear your feedback. And I also have a free resource guide for anybody who is asking themselves, am I on the right path for myself now? Or is there something else that I really want to do? Maybe you're in that quandary. Maybe you're wondering what's next. So head over to the show notes and you'll see my Painting Your Path framework guide. Download it and have some fun. Just start exploring. And thank you again for tuning in, and I will see you next week.